Hello, everyone. I'm Matt Clark, research analyst for Money and Markets, and joining me as he does each and every week from locations that you can only guess is Green Zone Fortunes coder Charles Sizemore. He's like a man on the run at this point. We have lottery picks in terms of where we think he's going to be recording a video at from one week to the next. I kid and all jest. He's still in Peru, but I won't tell you his address, so you can't find him only because he likes it that way. But we are here for another episode of Investing with Charles. And Charles, I'm going to jump right into it. I usually use some time to kind of spiel off all the great things we do with Money and Markets and Green Zone Fortunes. But today, I want to have a little fun with today's topic, and I want to talk about Twitter. And I don't want to talk about necessarily Twitter in relation to Elon Musk, but I do want to make that connection. And I only say that because Elon Musk recently tweeted that he was going to he bought 9.6% of the company, was going to be seated on the board, then declined. Then he said he was going to buy it entirely. Now today is this morning, the morning that we record this, it came out that companies, private equity firms like KKR, Apollo Management, Silver Lake, they have all kind of, I guess you could say, kicked the tires a little bit in the prospect of working with Elon Musk to buy Twitter. Now, whether this happens or not, no one knows. Twitter's board went through enacted what's called a poison pill, which would allow their board to buy up more shares, thus diluting Musk's 9.6% to whatever percentage it would come out to be, and making a buy almost untenable financially. So, is it going to happen? We don't know. But however,
even for the richest man in the world, by the way.
Exactly. What I want to focus on, however, is how Elon Musk has kind of transformed how investors play the stock market. And I have some examples, so bear with before I jump in and give you some, give you your time to opine. I'll start in August of 2019, or 2018 rather. This was probably one of the most infamous tweets by Elon Musk. It was one sentence, or actually two sentences. Am considering taking Tesla private at $420, funding secured. Immediately after that tweet released on the afternoon of August 7th, Tesla shares jumped 11% in almost about a day and a half. Now they in the following days the shares went back to normal. As you know, there's a lot of doubt as to whether Musk could actually pull that off, and it was probably more of a joke anyway. Because when you think about $420, 420, that is a popular code for cannabis users and investors and things like that. So it was probably more of a joke that cost Musk about $20 million to pay the federal government for doing. And now we go to May of 2020, and this is when this is a one sentence tweet. Tesla stock price too high, IMO, in my opinion. And within the stock was split adjusted at about $156 per share. The shares dropped about another day and a half, about 10%. Again, the losses were built back up, and all the losses recovered over about the next 3 trading days. So you have that. Now I want to also focus on crypto. Here's another chart. Here's a chart here. I found the fine folks at Recode put together a chart here to illustrate how Elon Musk's tweets have moved Bitcoin prices. This is in 2021. He tweets that Tesla is no longer accepting Bitcoin. Bitcoin value drops. Now he suggests that Tesla is selling Bitcoin, drops even more. Then he says Tesla hasn't sold Bitcoin. We see a markup. Then we see some off trading. Then he says he's breaking up with Bitcoin. Bitcoin drops. And then he comes back in June of 2011 and says, well, now, Tesla, we're going to accept Bitcoin again. Bitcoin prices jump back up. And then there's the little known famous dog coin called Dogecoin. And this is another analysis here. It might be a little hard to read, but you see how each one of these tweets illustrate a jump or change in Dogecoin prices. So what I'm getting at here is how is it we've gotten to the point in our as traders, as investment experts or knowledgeable in the investment world or in the markets, how have we gotten to the point where Elon Musk's tweets move the market like this?
There's a lot to unpack here. Where do you even start? I guess let's start with, why do you have rules surrounding what corporate executives can say and not say. There's a reason why you have blackout periods, why you have reporting periods, why you have these windows of time when companies are permitted to release information, because it turns into this if you don't, where every random firing brain synapse of Elon Musk, that's a potentially market moving event. And again, there's a lot to unpack here. When you're the head of not one, but actually multiple major corporations here, you have a responsibility to your shareholders. You have to act in their best interest. And Elon Musk basically behaves like a kid in a candy store with his daddy's credit card, just kind of does whatever he wants and just doesn't care. I mean, the SEC fines him $20 million for a joke tweet. Whatever, that's pocket change for him. He doesn't really care. It's not a big deal. The problem is it's a big deal for the people whose assets move. Even though Elon Musk may not care about $20 million, if you're a regular investor, if you had money invested in one of the stocks or cryptocurrencies or whatever that he caused to move, that can have a major impact on your life, on your financial health. So it's the reason why we have the SEC and why we have rules surrounding this stuff that he doesn't ever seem to want to follow. But yeah, that's where we are right now. And it's funny, eccentric CEO behavior is not new by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, Elon Musk is almost a caricature of, the guy's almost evolved into like a James Bond villain. It's so ridiculous. I mean, I like this guy is a caricature of a caricature almost. But eccentric behavior really isn't new with executives. Warren Buffett famously bought Dairy Queen because he liked the ice cream. Now, what did he do with Dairy Queen? Nothing. He put it into the Berkshire Hathaway portfolio of companies, and it's been a long-term holding ever since. And he didn't do any damage to it. But that really was just, haha, this is funny. I'm going to buy this. What most people don't know about Buffett is most people view Buffett, of course, as this elder statesman, the wise, Oracle of Omaha. He wasn't always that way. When he was a younger man, he bought Berkshire Hathaway because he was annoyed with management. He had a gig going where he would buy shares before management would buy them back as a tender. So Buffett's trade was he would buy up these shares. Management would call him and say, hey, we'd like to buy your shares, Mr. Buffett. We'll pay you whatever, 5 cents, 10%, 10 cents, whatever the price was over the current market. Great. Buffett would make the deal, make a little profit, move on to the next one. Well, the phone call came one quarter and the CEO said, hey, I'll buy it for whatever, 10 cents above the current price. And Buffett said, sure, let's do it. When the offer came in the mail, it was only for, let's just say 5 cents instead of 10. I don't remember the exact numbers, but it was less than what was promised over the phone. Buffett took that as a personal insult and decided to buy Berkshire Hathaway so that he could have the pleasure of firing the CEO. Now, I live for the day when I would be able to wield that kind of power. I would like to think I would wield it responsibly. I think we all know better. I would be no better than, I would be no better than Buffett or Musk or anybody else. I'd probably be worse. But that's what happens sometimes. You get personal egos and personal personalities that impact real world decisions here. So if you're an investor in any of these companies, any of these stocks that Musk regularly tweets about, that's a big deal. Like, you have to be aware of the risk involved. A tweet, either way, a positive tweet, a negative tweet, a tweet that says, oh, I'm done with Twitter. I'm done. What's that going to do to the stock price? Or I'm withdrawing my offer. I'm going to dump the almost 10% of the company I own. What's that going to do to the stock price? If you're buying anything that's kind of the subject of a social media, whatever tweet war here, you're taking risk. That those risks can work out, but they might not.
Now, you draw an interesting comparison. It's one that I know you and I have talked about offline, but I think it's one that's interesting, and that is with Warren Buffett. Now, Warren Buffett's not on Twitter. He does a few conferences here and there where he talks about his strategy and things like that. But by and large, the only time you find out what Berkshire Hathaway is doing as a company is when their quarterly reports are filed. And you can see how their ownership stakes have changed in companies, whether they've sold off, whether they bought new, whether they've increased their position, decreased position, so on and so forth. And it's usually at this point in time where, first off, a lot of financial news is made. A lot of financial news hay is made there, and traders will then respond in kind. And we're seeing that, I think, very similarly with Musk and only on Twitter. And so I'm just wondering, are you seeing some parallels in maybe not necessarily the execution or the methodology, but in kind of how, not retail investors, but institutional investors are now almost kind of looking for that next oracle, if you will, to follow and mirror investments after?
Yeah. So back in the day, if you had, kind of spies in the ground, you were observing Buffett's moves. If you could get in front of Buffett, you could make money. If you were sniffing around and you could see that, Buffett's been having, lunch with that CEO, or Buffett's been snooping around that company, maybe buying some shares in anticipation that Berkshire Hathaway was going to buy it, was a pretty smart move. You're getting ahead of what could be a big deal. The problem with trying to do something like that now is good luck. Good luck trying to get in front of the next random brain synapse of Elon Musk. He's really sporadic. And I think everybody's had a friend or a boss or somebody in their life like that before, where you're just trying to keep up. Like, you think, okay, we're on board. Yep, this is what we're doing. Wait, what? It just changed. It's really hard to make money like that. So yes, if you think you can divine the next tweet of Elon Musk and get in front of it, by all means, do it. Good night. You'll make a fortune. Look at what his tweets have done to the prices, particularly of cryptocurrencies. He can move the market. He's a one-man market moving machine here. But it's a risky game because you don't really know what that next random brain synapse is going to be. He's impulsive, he's quirky, and he moves on to the next thing. He may very well board a rocket ship and move to Mars tomorrow. That would that actually surprise you if you found out? Not even a little. No. Not even a little. Like his Mars colony is in motion. He's built his Iron Man spacesuit and he is en route to Mars as we speak. That's just another Tuesday for Elon Musk. So trying to get in front of that, trying to guess what his next tweet's going to be, is really a tough deal.
Now, again, none of this is to suggest that Tesla is bad or that SpaceX is bad or that even Elon Musk himself is bad. It's not to suggest that at all. What I want to circle around to is okay, obviously there's a lot of attention paid to when Elon Musk tweets, people listen. It's kind of like when E.F. Hutton speaks, people listen. That's the old phrase. Well, it's becoming that with Elon Musk. His tweets, anything he says publicly gains a lot of traction. And right or wrong, not for us to say. And as an investor, you are free to follow and do whatever you like, buyer beware, simply because, as Charles pointed out, we really don't know where the mine dump is going from one day to the next. And you may, one day it could be Tesla stock price is way too high. I don't really like it. And then all of a sudden you see this 15% sell off. 2 days later, well, you know what? I was wrong. I think Tesla's price is probably a little too low now, right back up again. And so you're buying and selling at the whim of someone of which you don't understand the methodology. Again, not bad, but not necessarily the best trading mechanism or trading strategy to utilize. So I guess, Charles, kind of capitalize on that a little bit. If you're an investor, obviously you can't ignore what Elon Musk says, but as a trader, as someone who, you've got
how do you actually navigate this?
How do you get through that?
Yeah. Well, to start, I'm going to give an open suggestion to the SEC, whoever's listening. Don't allow corporate CEOs to just tweet anything that could just, stream of consciousness about their company. Like that's bad. You can't allow that. But until the SEC decides to do something about that and actually put an end to this nonsense, what are the rest of us going to do? My recommendation is, look, if you're don't try to guess what the next tweet's going to be, because you're going to drive yourself crazy doing that. I don't see that ever being a winnable strategy. There's no way to back test it. You might as well go to Vegas and try your luck there. because that's just straight up gambling. But let's say that you're in a stock or you're in a cryptocurrency, you're in some asset that ends up being affected by a Musk tweet. What do you do then? Let's say you're in stock X. Musk tweets a picture of himself endorsing the product, just whatever. The stock price goes up 20%. Sell, take the profit, or at least sell part, just accept that as a windfall, take the profit and move on. Now, what if the opposite happens? And by the way, why? Because what's kind of historically happened here is the Musk bump is not always sustainable. Sometimes it pops and then it comes back down. So the other side of that is if Musk tweets something that causes a stock that you own to drop, you probably shouldn't panic and sell that day. It will, if history is any guide here, it will probably bounce back in the days that follow. There's this initial shock of, oh my gosh, this is bad news. Boom, the stock price dumps. But then, okay, well, it's not so bad. He wasn't serious, or he's moved on to the next thing. Then the price kind of recovers. So if you're going to play this, if you get a nice unexpected windfall from a tweet, take the profit, be happy. If your position ends up dropping, you may actually want to double down. You may want to, you may want to double down and see if it pops back up. In any event, you are, at the end of the day, you're trading on whims at this point. It's not really, it's better if you could just completely extricate yourself from the situation, but you can't really control it if a stock you're already in gets tweeted about.
And the thing is here, and I guess this is what sticks out to me, is that, you can't, as traders, whether you're institutional or whether you're a retail investor, you can't control what someone like Elon Musk tweets about or what that consequently will do to the market. There's just no way around that. And we've talked about this week in, week out, and that is making sure you're following your own set of rules. You have your own stop loss, have your own gain threshold percentage. And then no matter what the market does, no matter who tweets what, no matter who says what, no matter what comes out, when those thresholds are met, that dictates your buying and selling. Very simple. If you have rules, then you don't worry about what Elon Musk says or what Warren Buffett buys or anything like that. If you have your own rules in your portfolio on how to buy and how to sell, then it should be moot. It likely isn't, but it should be. And this
absolutely
is where
no. That's yes, absolutely, 100%, no question there. The question becomes, okay, I bought this stock at price X. My intention was to sell it at price Y. Ooh, it got to price Y a lot quicker than I thought because it was favorably tweeted. Take the profit. Follow your rules. Like, you want to get out of that price, do it. It just happened earlier than you expected. But that's fine. No one should ever complain about making too much money too quickly.
And shameless plug here, if you are in the process of looking for rules to follow, we have them for you with Green Zone Fortunes. This is our monthly news service that includes Adam O'Dell, our chief investment strategist, Charles Sizemore is a co-editor, myself, and we give you tons of analysis and a stock pick a month that we believe is going to beat the market at least 3 times. We also provide you with rules to play the game. We give you stop losses, we give you gain caps. We give you all these things to help you manage your portfolio and avoid things like trying to buy and sell off of a tweet or buy and sell off of a 13F report or buy and sell off of an SEC move or the Fed move or anything like that. We try to provide all that work for you. So basically all you're doing is you're just reading, dissecting, and then pushing buy, pushing sell. And your profits are there. So that we do have that. We'll put a link up top here so you can find out more about Greens and Fortunes. But Charles, any parting shots here on this? Again, I feel like it's easy to beat up someone like Elon Musk just because he kind of leaves himself open to it. It's really not the case here. It's not so much that, again, we think Twitter, SpaceX, or any of his companies are bad or that he's bad. It's just that he's now become at the forefront of being a mover, and he does it at the speed of 280 characters on Twitter.
Yeah, I'll say this. If I could choose to live the life of any billionaire just for a day or two, oh yeah, I'd choose Elon Musk's life. He has a fun life. He runs fun companies. He gets to play with space toys. He basically gets to live the Star Trek fantasy I would have dreamed about as a kid. Good for him. But that's, with investing, you do have to be a bit more sober, and you have to keep your head on your shoulders. So just keep a level head. Don't get sucked into the noise.
Indeed, very true. And again, follow your rules. Very simple. Don't trade on headlines. Nobody makes money on headlines. Don't trade on tweets. Nobody makes money on tweets, because as we've talked about, these moves that are made based on a tweet by Elon Musk, or really anyone else, are not sustainable. They don't last very long. They last a period of maybe a day, maybe two, and then the market corrects itself. So all these things to take in mind whenever you're faced with a big newsmaker like Elon Musk, and who's been in the headlines a lot of late. So, just something to think about. If you have a comment or a question or anything that you'd like to ask Adam, Charles, and myself, do so. We would love to see your feedback. You can comment below here on our YouTube channel, or you can email us. The email address is feedback@moneyandmarkets.com. Love to see your feedback. Maybe you have traded on Elon Musk's moves. How have you done? Let us know. Or if you have a question about a stock or a particular sector of the market or the economy, we would love to answer your question. If we do, we use one of your questions, we'll send you some very cool Money and Markets gear. Also, check out the flagship, the mothership that is moneyandmarkets.com, and our proprietary stock power rating system. You get the ratings of thousands of stocks that we rate, technical, fundamental analysis, anything that any analysis we've written, also in terms of stock charts, fundamental data. You can create your own watch list, all sorts of great stuff. It is all there for you to use for free at moneyandmarkets.com. And I would also encourage you to check out my new daily email. It's called Stock Power Daily. This is where I give you one stock that rates very high on our Stock Power Daily rating system. And I give you the insight as to why it is one for you to look at your portfolio. We'll find out how we can get you some information on how you can sign up for it if you're not already. He is Charles Sizemore. He is the co-editor of Green Zone Fortunes. I'm Matt Clark, research analyst for Money and Markets. And until next time, everyone, safe trading.